going inside the mind of a killer.
When there's dismemberment involved, there tends to be a close relationship between the victim and the person who actually committed the homicide.
Why this crime scene could have an entire community rethinking their neighbors.
Statistics will tell us it's quite likely that the killer has an association to that particular area.
I'm Amanda Ferguson in Riverdale, where a woman's torso was found just behind this butcher shop yesterday. Now, investigators have not labeled it a murder just yet. However, I spoke to one former homicide detective today, and he believes that is likely the case. And not only that, he believes it is incredibly likely that the victim and the perpetrator knew each other.
The fact that they chose the location that they did tells you that they know the area.
He's a former detective with decades of experience involving homicides, and Dave Perry believes a recent discovery in Riverdale is just that, murder.
We learn from past behavior, and typically when there's dismemberment involved, there tends to be a close relationship between the victim and the person who actually committed the homicide.
So you believe the killer is likely in her inner circle?
Yeah, typically, again, with dismemberment cases, it's somebody that knows the victim very well. And the dismemberment is all about disposal and trying to go undetected. You know, it's obvious that they selected this particular place for disposal thinking that they could disguise human remains as something else and hopefully have it taken away and discarded without anybody knowing. But they make all the typical mistakes. They put it into what I'm hearing, an empty bin, and they didn't follow up. They didn't, consider that somebody might check and wonder why there's something in there, and that's exactly what happened.
Perry says the person responsible likely has ties to the area, and police won't have to go far to find more clues.
You can typically draw perhaps a 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer radius around the disposal site, and you will find other disposal sites and perhaps even the murder scene itself. People typically dispose of human remains or commit certain violent crimes within an area that they're comfortable with, so it's quite likely, and there's no exact science to this, but statistics will tell us it's quite likely that the killer has an association to that particular area, so he or she either lives there, has a resort-to address, whether it be a business or a family member or a past residence, but there's something that's drawing them to that particular area.
And Perry adds that while the details of this discovery are certainly gruesome, he says it would be incorrect for people to make the leap to say that, a serial killer is involved, and he maintains that the risk to the general public is incredibly low.